Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the BHA board meeting for this evening, July 28th, 2025, exactly 6:05. We're going to call this meeting to order, and we'll start with invocation first.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, come before you once again. Thanking you for this day. Thanking you for waking us up in our right minds. Thanking you for allowing us to do your will and do your work. We ask that you bless this meeting today, Heavenly Father, that you guide our thoughts, you guide our words, Heavenly Father, and we ask that it's all of you and none of us. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Before we have approval of the agenda for today, I know there's a few changes we need to make, so I ask for those recommendations now.
I would like to make a recommendation, Mr. Chair, that we add item under new business, item D, board committee appointments.
Okay, I have a motion for to add item D for our committee assignments for the commissioners. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion for the agenda change for item D for the committee, for the commissioners committee assignments. And we have a second. All that's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I have no nays. All right. I will now move to the approval of the agenda. And do I have a motion to approve the agenda now?
So move with the necessary changes with item D and board committee assignments.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda. All that's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays. All right, now we will have the item C, the approval of the minutes from the July meetings, work session meetings held on July 9th, 2025, and executive session minutes held on July 9th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from the July meetings of July 9th, the work session minutes, and executive session minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to move. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve. All right, we'll now move to new business, and we have our new president, Ms. Hosley, who will represent today and give us a report on resident council. Welcome.
Hello. Okay, for the resident council, we have several upcoming events for the month of August. For August 1st, we have the Come Together Day. It will be held at McIntyre Court from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. We will be giving away school supplies to students for the upcoming school year. On August 14th, the resident empowerment. On August 21st, the work session and bingo night. And August the 26th through the 28th, it will be the GARA convention for the residents. The board will be attending, and it will be in North Augusta, South Carolina. Let's see. We did place our t-shirt order today with Flexer Enterprises. Several new colors were added, and also let's see, that was our resident council calendar as well as the support. That's it.
Great. I have a question, but any questions from the commissioners?
You can ask yours first.
Okay. My question is what's the census of the residents right now from what some of the reports you're getting? Like, what's their feel? What's going on? I really want to know how they're feeling.
We're trying to get more residents involved. Some of them they will attend and then they will stop. A lot of them they did stop for a while because of the fact that things kept changing. So now it's starting to be a little bit more consistent.
So basically, the time has been the consistency, or the consistency of time. I mean. Okay. I mean, any reports, I mean, anything that we can help as a board to help better. Some things is going to take some time, but is there any immediate things that you've been hearing? And be honest. We want to hear, of course we want to be discreet and respectful, but we like to hear. The board really want to hear what's the feel of our population.
We don't want residents to be intimidated. But you have a lot of them that they will say one thing but then do something completely different. They'll tell you to your face, hey, I'm coming, but then they'll tell us something different and then they're not there.
Right.
So as far as with some of the residents, I feel like as long as we are working together and on one accord and not just trying to push them to necessarily be there. I mean, I can't make you come, but I can try to encourage you to come. So as long as we have that, then that should increase the participation.
Are there things that, and you may not know the answer to this, but is there something that would really draw them out? And I'm just going to use this as one example. Say if we had, we were allowing people to sign their leases. You follow me at the meeting, and getting that done faster than it normally is done, or something like that. That it benefits them. I mean, this benefits them, but they don't always see it right away,
Yes,
and so. And that may be our challenge. And so it's not just on the leadership, you all as the council, but it's also on us as board members to help see what we can do to help folks see, or to create something that will help folks understand that how beneficial this could be. It's not just in providing just the housing, but full development. Just my thoughts. From one Albert Andrew Terrace person to another. Y'all know I had to get that in.
So I just have a couple of questions. Did y'all ever get the budget finalized and find out about your funds?
as far as with the budget, we didn't have to do another budget because we didn't ask for. I haven't received what's currently in our account.
Who did you ask?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna get one this one and see what we have in there, but as of now, I don't have it in my hands.
Okay.
I
This Gwen is
haven't
here.
asked her because I haven't been here, so.
That's the beauty of it. She's here. Did they ever get their 40,000 drawn into their account?
No,
Is it gonna happen?
that I don't have.
Probably because all of the other outstanding accounts that the big accounts have been working on, we can have them make that transfer. Because they would be the, well actually they wouldn't be the ones to do it. They'd be the ones to book it. So once we can book it, then we can make the transfer.
What's the deadline?
What's the soonest they need it?
Can we get it done tomorrow?
We should be able to.
I do have a question. As far as with the upcoming garbage trip, where are those funds coming from?
Your account.
In the past, they've always came from GHAP. They've never came from resident council funds.
Right.
And most of the councils that go, well, most of the PHAs that go, they don't even have a resident council. So that's not funds that normally would come from them. And the reason why we didn't ask for a budget is because we already know that. I was thinking it came from tenant participation funds, but I'm sure it came from GHAP. So can we continue the same allocation from the same source?
If you remember what Ms. Newman said about resident council, their accounts and their funds are separate from BHA, and that's why they're funded for their events. In the occurrence of a shortfall, like I shared with Ms. Hosley a few days ago, last week, if for some reason halfway through the year, if they realize that they're running into a shortfall and there are other activities that they want to be able to carry out and don't think they'll have enough fundings, the budget can easily be brought before the board and amended so that all expenditures are covered. So that would, if the trip is for their event and they have the funds for it, and for some reason in the latter part of this year, next year, if they need additional fundings to carry out anything else before June 30th, you bring it back before the board and put it before them to increase the account or increase the funding.
I understand what you're saying, but the board never changed that. So since they never changed that, that money needs to come from GHAP until it's changed.
The GHAP account is one of the things we're hoping to be able to address with the board maybe in the fall once we finish a few other things, because the board has to decide how they want to use that funding, and that has never been done. And so it's something that we have to sit down and decide what percentages of what it's going to go to and how we're going to do it. And once we do that, then you're absolutely right. That hasn't been done yet. It was always used as a slush fund, and it wasn't intended for that.
My consideration is going to be, once I assign the financial committee tonight, that the financial committee get on that as soon as possible, not wait till fall. We must acknowledge the resident council as the department that they are, and it's very important. Just because somebody feel like it should be changed, or a company we're working with, we need to see all those documents first, and that's my consideration moving forward.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of audit finding, it would lead us to, if it's not that, then yeah, I totally agree, Mr. Chair. But can you all explain what is it?
GHAP.
Yeah. What it is? Because everybody doesn't know what it is.
Georgia Housing Assistance Program. So typically what occurred back in the early 2000s was the 9 larger housing authorities, they all created an entity called National Housing Compliance. And as a member, National Housing Compliance provides services to HUD and to housing authorities throughout the U.S., specifically in Georgia and in Illinois. They created bylaws that talks about how the monthly distributions would occur and the annual distributions based on their performance. And so what this housing authority did, because I wasn't here, they created an account called Georgia HAP. So all of the money that National Housing Compliance provides, the mission is for the housing authorities to have additional private funds for additional new affordable housing. And when you look at the K Street houses, that money came from the LOUs. It didn't come from NHC. And so our NHC account, Georgia HAP as it's called, has never been defined how the housing authority is supposed to use those funds. So if you speak to people like Augusta, Atlanta, Decatur, Marietta, Athens, Macon, they have certain percentages of the private funds that they take and they put it into resident services. They put it into public housing, because you can't take private funds and put it into public housing. You can't take federal funds and put it into private funds, but you can move the money back the other way. And then the rest of it, they go about different ways of how they want to utilize their money. Columbus actually just has it as an endowment fund, where they've been growing it since the inception. I think they have somewhere north of 27 million, and their goal is to try and get 40 million, and then they're using that in to generate passive income to turn back around and fund public housing. So there's a variety of different ways. It's just that they've sat with their board and said, how do we want to use these funds? And that's just one example. I've asked some of the others to kind of give us their documentation to be able to share with you all, so at least you'll have some ideas of what other successful housing authorities are doing and how they're going about it. And that's one of the things that we identified with the fee accountant, and we're looking to try and put some proposals for you all to be able to decide, okay, here's what we receive annually combined. Here's what percentage we want to use here. What percentage we want to use here. Maybe this percentage we want to reinvest for a rainy day fund or what have you. And it's at your discretion. It's just that right now, there is no definition. And it's been used for a lot of things that it wasn't intended for. So all I try to do is just come back in and just straighten it out a little bit so that you can see what's going on, and then you can decide how you want to use it. Because ultimately, it's not my decision. It is yours. And all I'm supposed to do is organize it and get the information for you to make your decision.
So currently we don't have a definitive use for it, but we have been using it for resident council.
We've been using it for everything. Everything.
Can we get the documentation that you do have on it? Because I'm sure there's something on it that we
The
can
bylaws, I have the bylaws in my office of how NHC is supposed to operate, but again, the bylaws only talk about the distribution from NHC to the housing authorities. Once the housing authorities receive the money, they each have their own way of how they utilize it. We don't have such a mechanism.
It seems like we just need to get a policy in place on how we do use it and what percentage goes to what, and that'll make you happy and it'll make us happy as well.
It won't make me happy because I can't decide how the funds are supposed to be used. That's what you all are supposed to do.
Well, definitely in the past it's been used for this trip, and particularly with the resident council, and so that can continue until we can make a
I guess the only thing that just try and just see it from my perspective, which is we're not a standard operating housing authority. We're a substandard operating housing authority. And the fact that we are going to be a high performing housing authority, these are just some of the small things we do to get us there. That's all, which is just being fiscally responsible, knowing what we're bringing in on private fund side annually and how we want to use it, and everybody's in agreement. All I'm saying is that that's never been done before. That's it. I'm not saying I got to have a say or it's got to be a certain way. It's just if we want to be at the highest standard, a high performer housing authority, and we will be, here are some of the things we just need to go back and fix. And operating willy-nilly, spending the money everywhere isn't how you become a high performer. It's just not. Like, we shouldn't have had infestation problems since 2022. Why are we still dealing with that 3 years later? Right? Like, exactly. So again, here are things that we are going to rectify. And this is just right along with it.
Well, how much
That's
does
all.
the trip cost?
Come on.
Because last year
You
it was
gave me the paper to
$8,000,
sign?
and they're taking half the people this year. So
Just the registration.
okay,
And they did take it up from $275 last year to $300 this year.
okay.
Per diems as well.
So the per diem,
Like 13,000 last
you said it was like 13,000 last year. So what we looking at? What?
year.
8, 9?
Half of that.
Well, part of that was because they did everything late. And so all the discounts
Right.
and the additional charges you get when you wait till the last minute, they got hit with all of that. And so, yeah, it was a fiasco.
So it's
Did
gonna
we
be
get hit with it this year?
No, we're ahead of the deadlines.
so it's gonna be cheaper this year.
It
We'll
will be.
just
Yes.
Keep it out of Georgia HAP. If not, take it out of tenant participation funds because we get 25 per house per unit that's occupied. So either or, they shouldn't have to pay for it for money that
Well-
we fought for a long time.
I think Commissioner Hayes, it's clear we're not going to allow them to pay for it.
Okay. Thank
So,
you.
so it's and I think that's what Mr. Basin is saying. We just got to get that account, set up so that we can assign what the tenant council needs and anything else that we want to.
I just want to be clear because there's
Right.
plenty of times
I-
we'll say something in a board meeting and then later on it changes or it
Right.
was not
No,
even.
I think we all in
recognized.
agreement, and you're right. It
You hear
hasn't
that, Miss
been.
Gwen? We in agreement over here. All right, we can. I'm done.
All right. I don't have any.
All right. Sounds like you got baptized today. Welcome. All right. I'm sorry for using a Christian format, but y'all know I'm a preacher, so. Now we will have the item B for approval for write-offs for July. PH and S8 was the Section 8. Mrs. DeAmber Smith and Mrs. Natasha Douglas. And a vote is required.
The write-off amount for all three amps for the month of July is $6,993.30.
You have the information we need?
Yes, it's right behind it.
Okay.
That's the chart for public housing.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Any
question?
yeah, go ahead. Question.
Why did it go up so much in June and July? June more than July.
June. Oh shoot, my contract just came out. June normally is the month where we have a lot of people that will just turn in keys that'll move out. So we have more move outs last month than this month. What happens? Are you looking at public housing in Section 8?
It says that 1, 2, 3. I think this page is public housing, right?
Yeah. And also at the end of May, the the Section 8 waiting list did open up, so we did have public housing tenants who actually moved over to Section 8.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the Jobs Plus drawdown?
How do we get to? I guess the other question would be, how do we get to 100%? Any idea? Or it just worked out that way?
For May, we had the holiday, so we didn't have a board meeting. We didn't do. So June combined May and June, so we did have more. So we didn't have that board meeting in May, so our write-offs didn't come in until the June board meeting.
So people had more time to, basically. Okay, I got you. That's all I have.
Questions? Any questions?
Where's the Section 8 write-off part?
It's right behind it, right
Two
behind,
pages before the chart.
before the chart.
I don't ever remember us getting one of these.
Me either. I was just about to.
Section 8 doesn't usually have write-offs. We try to collect everything before we either port them out or while they're still on the program. This is an accumulation of uncollected utility allowance payments that we paid to the tenant in error, or they left and they had already collected the utility allowance.
How does that happen when you say an error?
Let's say the tenant annual came up and they were making less money, that the beginning of the month payment, it could have already went out. So we pay the utility allowance at the beginning of the month, depending on when the cert goes in. It could have adjusted or changed. The tenant stayed, moved, didn't refund the money, or they stopped getting a utility allowance because of the change in their income. And after we send out several letters to collect, if they don't pay it back to us, then it goes to the write-off.
More questions? All right, I'll accept the motion to approve the write-offs for July, PH, and SA.
Have to do those separately.
Separate or together? We're done together.
I move that, I'll do them separately since we have them
Okay.
separate.
All right.
I move that we approve the write-off for public housing for $6,993.30.
Second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and we have a second. All that's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, no nays. All right, now we have a motion for Section 8.
Section 8 write-off, I move that we approve $8,642 for Section 8 write-off.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All that's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays. All right, let's move to our resident service funding request. We'll start off with Coastal Soccer Outreach. Mr. Sean Williams.
Good evening, Pass. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
So what I'm going to do this evening, I know a lot of you are familiar with Coast Irish Soccer. So I'm going to go through and just highlight some of our outcomes from this past year with Housing Authority students, as well as then talk about some of the things that we are looking to project into our next fiscal year. So our soccer program covers 4 basic areas, which is soccer, our academic, which is part of our after-school program, as well as our STEM, which includes our computer-aided drafting and design, as well as our ecology and conservationist program with the University of Georgia for the extension, and then also our community service component. Our students last year, if we look at our GPA for the fall for our middle school guys was 2.6, and our spring GPA was 2.7. And that is right in line with when we first get 6th and 7th graders into our program. That is right in line where they come in typically. So historically, all of our 6th and 7th grade students who first start out are in that range or even below that range when they come into our program. The part that we're trying to take pride in is being able to work with them over a period of time to be able to increase that grade point average through the academic support components that we have. So our high school guys' GPA for the fall was 3.0, and our spring GPA was also 3.0. Our high school girls was a 3.34 in the fall, and in the spring was a 3.4. So there, again, that process of taking the time with them and working with them and being able to support them and really making them aware of where they are at. And we do that through every 2 weeks, they're turning in their grades. to our program, which they are actually going physically, looking at their grades and writing their grades down, and so that they become aware of their academic progress, as well as every 4 weeks, we also then pull their academic records to be aware of all the missed assignments that they have. A lot of times our students' grades are directly impacted simply by them just not turning in work, you know, and we had one student when they first started with us was averaging about 30 missed assignments per semester. So just making them aware, pulling that information, sharing that information with the student, as well as sharing that information with their parents, immediately starts to see a change in their GPA. We hosted this year 3 HBCU college clinics where we are bringing HBCU coaches here to work with our students, not only to help them prepare athletically, but then also to speak to them in reference to what are the requirements for them to be able to gain admission into that institution as well. Our students also have initiatives that they're leading. One of the things that we were able to do this past year was that our students high school students worked on flood research. So they were able to take our computer-aided drafting and design program and work with a local architect as well as with our staff with doing all the calculations, doing surveying. So they work with Scoop Surveying Company. They surveyed Howard Coffin Park to get the elevation, determine the calculations that were needed, and then also then design those bioretention cells. So they've gone through the process of recognizing here's the situation, how do we correct it, but also playing a part in the design efforts there. We also then had an opportunity, because of their work with Gopher Tortoises, they filmed an episode of Wild Kingdom in April. So we are waiting to see if we make the final cut, which then that episode will either air this coming fall or the episode will air next spring. But we do know that they've asked for additional information in reference to footage with the Gopher Tortoises, and so we are hoping that we make this cut, and then if so, then that would definitely be a community event. These are just examples of what we're doing with the students that we're working with, beyond the soccer component, and so we want to be able to continue to do that as well. If you look in your packets, on the right-hand side, you will see several schematic drawings. The first drawing is a spur gear, which is the engineering component of our program. This is the 6th and 7th grade students are working on this, as well as then your next drawing is a headphones that they, again, looked at the drawings to be able to do the digital drawings, as well as then be able to produce a 3D rendering of their design. If you go to your next design, you're going to see something that you probably don't even recognize, and you're probably saying, what is that? So our students, this summer, we started an automotive engineering design component of the CAD program. So these are drawings that we went through. The students identified which vehicles they wanted to design. One was an F350, a Bugatti, and then a BMW Z8. And so from that, they then went through and traced. So they're not capable of doing the drawings as of yet. So they went out and found their piece of that. So we working with engineer for General Motors and said, how is this set up? If you had your team set up, how would this design piece be set up? And so we've set up our design components in that way. So this is actually the side mirror of an F350. This is a drawing and measurement. So we actually brought the F350 onto the property, and the students went out and took their own measurements. And so this is now that drawing, and now the student is now producing a digital piece of this. And now what will happen at the end what we're hoping to happen at the end of the spring of next year is that they're then going to put all of their pieces together. They have a crew chief that's in charge of managing the teams. So these, again, are just examples of what we're looking to be able to do beyond the soccer. We'll continue to work here, offering training at Glen Villa and Abbott Andrews at the futsal court. Our high school girls will actually start training on Thursdays at McIntyre Court, and that is an effort for us to start to increase our girls' participation. So overall, again, this is where our programming is going. We also have increased the number of days that we're doing actual transportation through Glenville, McIntyre Court and Perry Park as well, and then Glen Middle School. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, commissioners?
No.
See where you do conduct background checks and drug screening for all vendor and employees and volunteers. How often do you do that?
So we do our background checks are done through, we're part of the Georgia Soccer Association. So all of our coaches have to go through background screening through our state association. So that is basically a $25 fee that we are paying for them to be able to pull that information. We do not determine if the coach is eligible or approved. That is done through Georgia Soccer. So if that comes back at a risk level that is not deemed worthy for Georgia Soccer, they will not allow us to let that person, one, be assigned a coach, and then two, that person cannot attend our coaching certification classes as well. And additionally, we have what's called Safe Sport. Safe Sport is a national initiative basically coming out of the women's gymnastics situation. The nations established a safe sports national curriculum. Every year, every coach has to go through and complete that curriculum, or again, they are not approved by the state to be a coach.
The drug screening part.
The drug screening, we do not do the drug screening piece.
Says it on the MOU though.
So no.
Take that off.
Do you know the percentage of our residents who serve in the program?
So we are serving anywhere from 25 to 30% of our participants are Brunswick Housing residents. We are looking at, for our budget piece, Brunswick Housing Authority supports 18 to 20% of the budget. So basically our average cost for participation is around $2,600. And what we are basically looking at from Brunswick Housing Authorities, looking at $1,600 per school. So then we are then raising the additional funds to be able to cover the cost for our participation.
So what's your request today, Sean?
So our request today is $80,116.50.
Yeah, it's on the.
What is the
it's
cost
on the
per student?
memorandum also.
$2,600
Per month
per year.
Yeah. I'm overlooking.
Not for the. It's 1603. So $1,603 and I believe 36 cents.
Right here it's saying $606.94 per month or $151.73 per week.
Because we broke that down into that amount, and then that should give you your monthly, with 50 residents.
for 10 months? For how many months?
So this is billed out at 11-month scale, because we are basically, the MOU will run from August 1st to June 30th.
I think the math is off just a little.
Yeah.
So the 80 80,
So if I took the 80 and divided it by 10 months,
no,
that's
11.
11 months.
11 months. Now you gotta then take that,
And the 50 students.
50 students. Okay, now you gotta do your monthly, and that'll break it down. So,
Just, I don't know if you can explain it to me. It's not.
That's
It's,
7,000 a month, 7,283
yeah,
a
so
month.
that is,
That's
because
what
we
I
can serve up to 50 students. So that is the monthly cost for the 50 students, up to 50 students.
So you just invoice us for the students?
Yeah,
that
we
participate?
invoicing you for the students.
I'll be the one
So-
to participate.
Yeah.
For the ones that.
Who verifies it?
The students that are participating in the academies, right? He does some activities out in the on the properties as well. So we identify, we pay for the ones that's in the academies. That also includes travel. That's the summer after school academies and the travel side.
Yes.
So how many students roughly attend for the year?
For the academies,
So we roughly, so like last year, we served a total of 57 students.
From
So
Brunswick Housing and
from
Section
Brunswick
8?
Housing out to Section 8. And so we build out per month based on the number of students that are served. So if, again, so that month, that average per week is then per child. So if we do not have, if we are not serving someone, then we are not building for that individual.
they don't show up, they don't pay.
So would they have to show up at least 3 days a week?
Any more questions? My recommendation is that actually all of these resident service funding requests that during our executive session, we make a decision and then we direct our executive director on the approval or non-approval of each resident service funding request, if y'all are in agreement with that.
I am.
I agree.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Sean.
All right, thank you. You have a great evening.
You too. All right, next we have Youth Enrichment Learning Center, Dr. Patricia Brown.
Good evening, and thank you again for allowing me to come before you to tell you about my program and to request your continuation in funding the program. We currently fund 30 students from the schools within this city. That's we support Burst Millette, Goodyear, Glen Middle, Alabama, and Goodyear, Burst Millette, Alabama, and Glen Middle. Our program is specifically tutorial. Summer camp is specifically help the children with homework. They tutor them in the areas that they're challenged in with their homework and also things that they're missing within their education. We have group tutors and we have individual tutors. And we have one EIP that was granted to us last year. And the EIP was granted to us last year because so many children that we found that could not read. I have hired 6th graders that very much cannot read on a fluent level. And that has happened last year, and I've seen it again this year. We test them. math test and the end of the year test, milestone, winter milestones. And the tutors are important because we have a class size of 10, and sometimes the class size are less than that, because the tutor has to tutor those ones that are below level. And the group tutors are concerned with the homework and the homework assignments and homework and the reading assignments and math. This year, the students' level grew, and I contributed to with the EIP because we had so many children with below level reading. In math, we had 67% of the students achieve average to high average growth, with 44% at the average level. The reading, 56% demonstrated average growth, consisting of 44% at average and 22% in both high average and high categories. Lastly, language usage shows 55% in low to low average growth, while 45% fell into average, high average, or high growth. And in reading, that's the math I did reading. Excuse me, I couldn't find it either. Anyway, the growth has been significant because at the end of the year, the children we have one child receive a principal award. We have many children receive high improvement awards in the reading and both the math. They improved that much. And that's attributed to the EIP tutor and the one-on-one tutor, as well as the group tutor. We encourage the students to come. They are required to come 3 days a week. And what they have done was, as long as they come 3 days a week, they made that requirement. But this year, we're requiring them to meet consistently 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that way, it's not, because the students are on track with their curriculum. If not, they miss what they're doing from day to day. Additionally, we have sixth grader writing. The writing is not. We had a sixth grader miss the writing on the math and the Georgia milestone. And that's why this year to go to summer school. We had a 98% success rate of the children passing the Georgia milestone first time. And 2 didn't pass. 1 in math and 1 in ELA. Each one missed by 1 or 2 points. So that was significant. And we averaged about 98% success rate. We have the summer camp is a camp to help the children over the summer to not lose what they had in school. They bridge the gap between summer and fall because children traditionally lose a lot during summer. We have new students coming into the summer, and we encourage them to continue on into the after school program. If they continue on to after school program, they continue to build on their education. We have certificates, we have awards for students this year, more than we had the previous year.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
On your YELC expense budget, can you break that page down for me, please?
The expense budget is we have $2,500, I believe, for the year. That's for both programs. Or $2,500 for the EIP. EIP too.
You might be looking at two different pages. I'm looking at this one.
Of these schools. Oh, that's projected, I believe. That's the projected budget.
It's projected.
Yes, ma'am.
And so the actual one, did I miss it?
The actual one is 118. The same as it was last year. 118 with
It was 122.
122. Okay, with a $2,500 before.
That actually it was 112, and she asked for $2,500 per quarter, and that raised the extra $2,000. But she actually, to date, she's around $107,000, $108,000 she's spending on tuition. That's what she finished. It's based on
Student participation.
participation in attendance.
What's the percentage of the students that were served?
She just had 30 of our kids.
30.
Public housing and Section 8. And it's specifically for the two those who are struggling in schools.
So last year we did about 108,000. That's what you said.
I think about 108,000. She was approved for 122.5, which she's acting for this year. But she's still about 107.
And that's because of lack of participation. Mostly in the summer, the children during the school year pretty much came consistently.
So she averaged around 28, 27 during the school, and during the summer like 24.
I would say it's good to know that they're honestly ensuring that the services that they render, that's what we pay for.
And the EIP teacher is very good. She was a former college dean, a college professor, works at RISD. She's real good. She wants to be there and help the kids.
What's her name?
Dr.
Newell.
Newell.
James.
Any other questions or comments? All right, Dr. Brown, thank you for your presentation, and we will be notified before August 1st, I promise you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
All right, next we have Brunswick Recreation Department, Mrs. Vanessa Book.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm coming for you all to just tell you a little bit about the recreation department. This is actually our second full year in programs in sports. So we, I would say about some of our parks in our facility, popular parks in our facilities, which is Charles Hoffman Park is actually the main location. And there we have 4 tennis court, 4 baseball, softball fields. We have a soccer field, a new turf football field. We have a walking track, the playground and a picnic area. We have the pool. We have a new basketball court that's in the entrance of the park. And we also have a new computer lab within our Hoffman Park building. Our second location is the Roosevelt Lawrence Community Center, which is better known as the REC, and that's over on 8th Street. And in their building, they have a game room. They have 3 classrooms. They also have a computer lab. They have a gymnasium, and of course, adults and youth can use those facilities. So now I just want to come and talk a little bit about the program from last year, and also talk about what we are requesting this year. So with the support of the Brunswick Housing Authority, the City of Brunswick Recreation and Parks Department We successfully implemented a series of youth-focused recreation and educational programs during the 2024-25 program year. The initiative serves students that's living in the Brunswick housing community and, of course, Section 8, and provided enriching experience that promoted physical education, academic support, and social development. The programs that were offered were football, cheerleading, basketball, cross-country, track, and then our programs are after-school program, holiday camps, summer camps, which includes swimming lessons. The participation number and the outcomes. We proposed, I'll tell the proposed participants and then I'll tell you the actual numbers that we serviced. So for basketball, we proposed 50 students. We actually serviced 43. For football, we proposed 50. We actually serviced 33. For track, we proposed 50. We actually serviced 28. Cheerleading, we proposed 50, and we actually serviced 24. And in our after-school program, our numbers also were 50, and between the two sites, we had 39. 19 participants at Howard Coughlin Park, and 20 at Roosevelt Lawrence Community Center. Our summer camp programs, we proposed 50. We had 45, 18 at Howard Coughlin Park, and 27 at Roosevelt Lawrence Community Center. We also, like I said earlier, we offered cross-country. We did not have any participants out of the housing community to participate in cross-country this year. But out of the numbers of after-school, 100% of the after-school participants successfully advanced to the next grade level, and that was from kindergarten up to 7th grade. And what's major for our summer, 70% of the students, the summer camp students learned to swim through the swimming lessons that we offered. And the 30% that wasn't, they were new beginners, but they did learn to get themselves to the side because we do encourage swimming lessons in our program. We don't make it mandatory, but we strongly encourage it. And that's because we do live around a lot of water. So if they are not swimming, they do know how to successfully get themselves to the side if they were to fall in the body of water. And the other thing is, I did give you the actual numbers that we serviced, but I also wanted just to let you know overall, as I said, 43 we serviced for basketball, but the total number that played basketball the very first year was 105. So we almost hit about, we were about 40% of the basketball programs coming out of the housing community. So I thought that was a great number, and they all love basketball. And for football, we were probably at about 40%, and that was 33 kids, so that was exciting for us as well. Summer camp is always, it was very, very successful this summer with some of the kids. And just as any other program, we started out, and like I said, we do bill you all for the number of students that participate. We lost a few, and that was only because they would come one day, and then the next week they wouldn't come the next week. So we try to encourage them to come back. So some of them dropped out of summer camp, but they are looking forward to come back to after school. Also, so I just want to say that's, other than that, we want to be truly grateful for the Brunswick Housing Authority for the support and the efforts to serve the children living in the housing community. Your partnership allows us to create safe, structured, and impactful program that helps our kids grow, learn, and thrive. We look forward to your collaboration, collaborating with your program in the upcoming year. Our this year request for all these programs, the amount we're requesting is $66,600. And that's it. Unless you have any questions.
Any questions from the commission?
As we all consider in the future.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, would y'all consider in the future providing transportation for the children home.
So from out of the housing community. Now, a while back, it's been a while back, we did that during the summertime. And we worked with the school system. So would you be talking about for summer camp or after school?
But would be helpful, but because after school the bus from school will take them, but then when it's time to get home.
Okay. And so what that would be thinking is that would just be something that we would have to talk with the school board about, and just to see how many kids that we would need to service. Because if it was something that we possibly could do in the near future, we could transport them through our buses. But I think that we would want to shoot for the Glenn County Transportation Department. But that is something that we can sit down and talk with them about.
Ms. Booker, what is the census of the city as far as our relationship like this out over this past year? Did they see us as a good partnership?
Of course, and like I said, yes, we were definitely excited because initially when we started with, let's say with our very first sport, and that's what we did. We went out and we went into the housing communities, and we encouraged them to sign up. We stopped in different places, went different places and stuff with them. And I think that this year, I think we'll get more because a lot of things, I don't know why, and I don't know if it's an excuse or if it's just, they maybe just didn't know. A lot of people say they just didn't know. But like I said, because a lot of our kids do come out of the city, I think it was a great collaboration. And we do, like I said, we do look forward to working with you all in these programs and any other programs that you all might think that we can offer through our rec department. We're willing to do it.
Did our funding source help with the football program starting?
Yes, we help with all of our programs.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little biased about football.
yeah, and it did. It helped with all of the programs, like I said, yeah. And we came, like I said, last year was our very first year coming back, and we teased everybody, and I told them, I said, we want to win, but we're not focused so much on is winning. But one thing that we did focus on was our uniforms. And people always say, what are you talking about? And for us, we feel like if you look good, you feel good. And so I tell them, I said, we maybe were not the winners team, but we definitely were the best team. So yeah, it definitely did help. And so we're excited to looking forward to see what we'll get this year.
But there were some state awards, right?
We did, and in track we did. Thank you, Commissioner Booker. In track with a lot of our kids, we had in track we had a lot. We had a 7 and 8 year old state championship team that set a record. We had about 24 gold medalists in different events. We had a state record holder for hurdles. So we did a lot of things in track, and we did, and we really had a good year as well in basketball.
I know there's a lot of physical and recreation. What kind of STEAM programs do you guys offer?
Well, what we did not, we offered a small one with some STEM and science in summer camp, and that's because the young lady that works for us in summer camp, she is like a STEM teacher. So we did offer some in that, but we've not started it in after school. But we are looking to work with another young lady. I can't even think of her name. This year, at least try to get one day of STEM in both after school program, Howard Coffin Park and Roosevelt Roberts.
What about the computer?
What are we using it for, or what about it?
Yeah, the access for the students.
Okay. And so what we did was we were truly blessed this year with Georgia Power, and they actually redid one of our classrooms into a computer lab. And so what we did with the computer labs, we went to the media centers at the school system, and we got, some of the programs that they work on in the school system. So that way, when they come to the computer lab, they can actually know their own code and know how to get in. So they're able to use that. So if they started something in iExcel at school, they can come there after school and they can finish it. Or if they're just having trouble just, reading. And for a lot of our kids, they don't really like to read books. But we have some programs on there that they can go and they can have the books audible and allow the books to be able to read to them, but they have to ask the question back. So the computer lab has really been a great access, and kids, they like technology. So it's been good.
Any other questions?
I had one more,
Go
but you
ahead.
know, it kind of faded away
Oh.
a little bit.
You was thinking about that transportation.
That was a good suggestion too.
Call you if I
Okay,
remember.
I'm gonna say, if you don't have to call me, you can always call me.
All right, thank you, Ms. Booker.
Thank you.
We'll have a response to you as well. For all the
Thank you.
questions.
They asked for $69,500 last year, and for $66,500 this year. They're gonna, this last year they spent around close to 50.
Is there any way we can help with the marketing for our residents, or to get it up to that number?
We use the social media. But again, this does ties into self-sufficiency. We have a deadline, that's your deadline. I know she extended the deadline several times in certain sports. But if you want to sign your kid up, that's anyway. You're going to have the deadline. You're going to have to meet the deadline. And saying that you don't know, especially like now this year, they know the season's coming. We use that excuse. I didn't know last year, but everybody's been advertising.
I know this year. Okay. All right.
And I think in our discussion about the personnel committee, Ms. Hayes brought up about the newsletter,
Mhm.
and that residents did get information from that.
Right. They felt like it was a cheaper idea to do it quarterly, but we did bring up if they did an online version of it, that could be helpful. But some residents don't check their emails, and some of them obviously don't know their own address, because we work to reach out, and what they leave us, it comes right back to us. So I beg that we go back to the regular newsletter, especially when we're promoting these opportunities for the children to participate in after school or the summer programs, so we can gear it right before school starts and right before summer starts, so that at least we know what's offered. Because a lot of times, unless we contact the resident service coordinators or we come up in person just to ask, hey, what's going on? What are we doing for the summer? We don't really know.
And we help out a little bit as well too, because we do have some awesome coordinators and awesome volunteers. And we actually walk through some of the housing community and actually talk to people. Because for me, I tell them all the time, because I'm a tad bit older, but I tell them that a lot of people, a lot of the grandparents are raising their kids and they aren't on social media and stuff. And so like I said, that is something that we have started as well. It's actually walking around.
I remember my question.
Okay.
What's the student to teacher ratio
For after school?
after school?
Okay, and what we do is in the K through 2, we are 1 to 15, and then when we get up to the 3rd grade to the 5th grade, you can go to about 1 to about 18, and then middle school, you can go 1 to 20. But we never go past 1 to 12, 1 to 15 in each age group.
I beg to differ, because my son went to the one on K Street last year.
K Street,
Okay.
okay.
And I just encourage y'all to work on that, because there was a lot of fighting and bullying that happened, and without the eyes on the students, it's kind of hard to kind of keep track of it, and it discouraged him from wanting to go over the summer. So he opted to go elsewhere and stay home.
Okay.
So that just, helpful for future.
Okay. All right, that's perfect. Oh, yeah, because like I said, we are working to, we're working on that. We're working on getting better. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. I will say these next two that's coming up, we did hear from you. We do want to hear from you again, but you don't have to be redundant. We did hear from you a few weeks ago. And so just share with us who you are. We'll start with Safe Harbor, Street Beat, Mr. Jeff Clark.
I don't know about being redundant. I mean, I want to make sure we're pointing out. Can you get one of the things?
Sure.
I want to make sure we're pointing out some things that we kind of sat down and talked about. Well, we need to make sure we increase the awareness of what we're trying to offer as an organization and a partner, right? So, again, my name is Jeff Clark. I represent Safe Harbor. I am the Street Outreach Director. And thank you so much, guys, for the funding. I think you've been a partner for the last 2 years. have grown a lot organizationally, partnering with Brunswick Housing Authority, and just the potential of serving your residents and serving the city of Brunswick has been tremendous. You know, just briefly, one or two success stories, I think. In partnership this year, we've done a good bit. We've partnered more or less on community events. We've done the health and housing event at your new location with you guys, and we also did an event out of McIntyre Court that we found to be really heartfelt. And I say that myself because we ran our SRAE once a year event out there for the residents in Brunswick Housing, and probably it was full. We used Coast Outreach Soccer and vendors to come out. I wouldn't want to count the individuals out there, but what I will say is the residents came up to me as I was serving Jamaican food and said, "Thank you for doing this for us." And so that, for me, just set up the idea of this needs to be a continuation of things we do, right? It's all about our residents, making sure they get what they need. So, just to revisit in our programs we're offering, and let me tell you guys, looked at some of the things, I think what Cullens was asking about, how many visits, things like that. And there is an error in how we calculate what we do. We're not putting all the services that are rendered to the kids, just direct one-to-one face counts, but there's more that goes in than just face counts, right? So case manager does emails, they talk to different agencies about stuff, they call different opportunities, like job things, so they're constantly meeting with individuals that we're not counting as initial contacts, and we should be. So that was an error. I will tell you, moving forward, like in the foster youth program, there should be over 3,500 initial counts that we do face-to-face engagements or engagements. It's generally at least two contacts a week, which right now we're holding 6 kids. I think we have 1 or 2 more applicants out there for potential housing, and then that's 2 contacts a week, just face-to-face, and then all the other services around them. Also contacts, whether they come to our drop-in, whether they get therapeutic services and see the therapist, whether they get tutorial services, because all those services are linked to just all the kids that we're serving. So in our foster youth program, we hope to be serving at least 12 kids by the end of the year. I will tell you that one's a little bit more difficult again. It is based on acceptance and availability of the voucher itself. We work real hard with you guys to kind of clear the kids to get into that program, and then once they're in that program, we have to case manage them for 36 months. So we have to continue that process for at least 3 years. Our drop-in center, guys, it's 2 days a week. It's kids that are 14 and 19. And so previously I've been working with kids from Brunswick Housing. We haven't been counting. It's an open drop-in center that we actually go out. We get the kids from high school and middle school, it's 14 and 19. They come to our drop-in, they get tutoring, they get therapy, they have a mentor, they get a hot meal, they get to take a hot meal home, they get life skills, they get the SRAE program, but they also get an opportunity to learn about traumatic issues and how to deal with trauma. And that's one of the things we do within our program is we do trauma-based training with the kids to make sure that they understand how to engage each other in a supportive way, that they're not creating trauma between each other, that they're dealing with it. We kind of help in that situation. So the life skills and the therapeutic services, guys, is something that if you look, that's an additional cost that we have. So we use other programs to support this program, to support all the programs that we have. Our other therapeutic services that we render comes from another DFACS program. Generally, we wind up paying the therapist per visit. In most of our cases, anyone in our drop-in center, our kids, our FYI kids, will get 4 or 5 visits a week, a month, actually. They can get up to 4 or 5 visits a month, depending on the situation. If there's big trauma going on, loss, or something, it all depends, but we allow the therapist to be able to provide some kind of therapy session. That's not a cost that's happening here. That's a cost that we're driving in another program to deliver services. Our tutors are always available. We tutor for ASVAB, SAT, ACT. It's always available for them. We pay the tutors out another program so that they can deliver services to the kids, not just on a limited amount, but just on a daily basis if that's needed, and to the kids. There's no limit to the tutoring sessions they can get, even virtual. Our sexual risk avoidance, I think as of this year to date, we just introduced that about 3 months with you guys. we've already done 35 kids. So my SRE coordinator has been working with your group and your lieutenant group to build a report. We put 35 kids through that program already. The idea is we're going to put at least 50 kids. Once these, it's a 4-hour class, 4 to 6 hours. Once these kids complete the class, they get a $75 gift card just for going to the class. But they also learn how to do and avoid sexual risk opportunities as well. But they also get an opportunity to sign up for drop-in also, if they want to come to drop-in, so we get to work with the family holistically. Our summer enrichment camp, guys, right now I have about 80 kids. I will tell you, our summer enrichment camp is intensive. Right now it's the millions of people. These kids, this year they learned about the globe, right? They took 10 areas within this area. They did China, they did Japan, they did Europe, and they learned about each and every one of these countries. We even went so far as to send them to restaurants where they can be served and have food that was reflective to what they were studying. Even to the point where they went to Savannah, what 3 or 4 times, they've been to Jacksonville. So we provide that opportunity for them. They're actually Thursday, they're on their way to Epcot. That's a cost that we're driving from our fundraising, that we help establish that to make sure that they get that particular part. So the biggest thing I want you guys to know is that even though our ask is $75,000, we use additional funds to support the mission. This year alone, we want to work with 127 kids. That's our idea. That's our approach. We want to do 127 kids that are directly within public housing, whether they're voucher-based or whether they're Section 8. And so we want to see better outcomes. We want to see the opportunity for them to use. I will tell you now that at the end of September the 15th, I have some ribbon cutting for my barbershop, beauty shop. It's a beauty shop now as well, because the young ladies have made it become a beauty shop. I've got some ladies who do twists and hair and eyelashes. So they've insisted. So we'll be having ribbon cutting there. It's a training program. And the kids come in and get to learn about how to do hair, how to keep themselves motivated and clean, and also how to respectfully engage individuals. My program is also a recruiting site for Sea Island. So I have an agreement with Sea Island for kids that are 17 and above, that if they are interested in working and have a full-time position, they can come through my drop-in site and come through my programs for direct employment. So we've been working with some kids from the community for employment. So not only do kids get an opportunity to work with Sea Island, get benefits, but they actually get a tour. So our kids get a tour of Sea Island, they get to go meet with the heads over at Sea Island and basically understand more about how Sea Island works and look at the job opportunity, which pays a little bit more than most jobs within this community. And then we're reminded that they get an opportunity to choose a career. So those are the different things that I want to kind of bring into play. You know, we look forward to anything in the future. I think we're going to be participating with you guys. Family Day coming up in McIntyre Court. I hope. I think Ms. Maria's been there as well to participate. So we look forward to any other additional engagement with you guys in the future.
Any questions, Commissioner?
For the jobs that you said through Sea Island, do you provide transportation for them? Or?
Oh, so transportation is provided in every program to and from. So with Sea Island works with us in the transportation. They either give a stipend or they help set up the transportation.
Still a little confused on how many residents of public housing in Section 8 do you service? Because I think I heard you say most of them you're doing the foster
Youth independence, yeah.
right, so you're bringing people into our communities. How many people that didn't come from foster home are you servicing from our community?
So right now, so the foster youth program right now has 6 kids that we work with already.
Okay.
So the other programs right now, I have 8 kids that are in our summer enrichment program receiving that service out of 15. So I got the majority of our public housing, and then I've done 35 kids under a SRAE program through meeting with you guys, setting that up as well. One of the things is we have a boost grant that's going to be, we had it last year, but we didn't get it this year. our boost grant is going to allow us to bring in at least 50 of your kids for tutorial and education. And so this is a state-funded opportunity that will be specifically to work with you guys to increase the opportunities at least. And so my program is one of the recipients, or will be one of the recipients of that. So we'll be offering 2. And so instead of 3 days or 2 days a week, now we're 4 days a week. So we'll have kids that are coming in 4 days a week. So we want to increase, not just have 15 of your kids in the summer enrichment or 30 of your kids and drop it. We want to increase that by 50 at least, because we'll have that funding. But these won't be kids that are under FYI. These will be just kids that are in general public housing.
What do you mean by
Foster Youth Independence Voucher.
Okay, and then there was another acronym that's used.
SRE, Sexual Risk Avoidance Education. Yeah.
And so right now you're servicing 8, but you hope to get it up to
In the summer enrichment?
yes.
Almost 50.
You hope
Yeah.
you're gonna
And the
do
reason
50,
I'm doing
but you're at 8.
it because it's intensive. I mean, they're going everywhere. The educational piece, I have 4 tutors that we pay to come in and do that. They break them out in groups. They're also getting therapy. They're doing other things. They're doing art classes. They're doing aerobics. They're doing line dancing. They're doing all of this stuff within a 3-day period. And so when they come in there, they're moving forward. Now, if they have any behavior issues, the example is I've met a young lady today whose young son is in my program, and I won't say where she's from, but he had it. So most of my kids have ADHD or can have ADHD. They can have an IEP at school. So what we do is not just offer therapeutic services, but we create plans to make sure that they can meet with other individuals. And so this young lady, her son is in my summer camp, and he's never been to camp before. This was his first time. She's never been before camp. And so I had to put him on a disciplinary piece for one day. He had to miss one day. And he was calling his mama while he was in the meeting with us to make sure that he could come for the rest of the meeting, which he could. We just needed to talk to the mom. But the mom was very thankful. She's a mother of 3, works from 7 to 7. It's a little difficult for her, but she was very appreciative of what we've done. But our commitment is not just for 12 months to this kid. Let me say this. Our commitment is until he graduates high school and after. I've followed kids from 8th grade on to having kids, and they still come back and provide mentorship for us. So we don't just do 12 months with kids. It becomes a family approach. I've had kids for 2 or 3 years. I've had them since high school to go on to go to college, to go to the military, and then come back. I had one today who came back, who's now going to the Navy. He graduated last year. And then my son actually met with him today to talk about the Navy as a mentor. So we don't just do 12 months with kids. So none of these kids will be considered 12-month opportunity. There will be a lifetime opportunity.
Any other questions?
Did I confuse you? I think the biggest thing, guys, is we appreciate the relationship. It's all about growth. I think we need each other. I think in community we need each other. We have to. The things we're doing for the community is something unique, and opportunities that we're offering as a collective, other organizations, is something that's valued. It's something that maybe most of the residents may not get the opportunity to experience over time. But to having opportunities like this makes a difference, especially in the kids' life.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be letting you know as well, Mr. Clark. I don't see Ms. Hartman, but Ms. Black is here, and who else we have? All right, come on up. Come on up, Ms. Black. Represent Safe Harbor to Family Preservation.
Good evening, everybody. First, I just want to thank you for inviting us back to the table. So you guys have the data, but I just want to talk a little bit more about the services. So what we hope to do is just continue the services that we've been providing for the last 2 years. So again, all the services that we provide will be here at the Brunswick Housing site, and we also go into the family's home, and we also do it as a part of the site. So the benefit of having it at the housing sites is we have a presence here. So if anybody misses out on an appointment, they know that we're here on site, usually Tuesdays at 12:15 that we're there. And then in the home, we're actually able to observe the family, make sure they're applying our services, which when I'll talk about later, just seeing how they're applying behavior management services with their children, and creating structure in the home. And then the Safe Harbor Center, they have access to our computers and our printers. So if there's anything that we need to work on as far as like making resumes or just anything that they need when it comes to using computers, they can come to our center and use the technology. So some of the services that we have would be free family assessments and goal planning. So everybody who comes in to our program who wants individual-based services receive a free family assessment and goal planning, so that we make sure that we stay on track with what it is that we're trying to help them with. So we're not just working with them and don't have some kind of plan. We also do community linkages. So if there's a resource that a family needs that we don't have, we're able to connect them and advocate for them to receive that resource in the community. Again, we do parent education. So parent education takes place here at the site on Tuesdays at 12:15, and that's group-based. So anybody can go in here and receive those services. We also do it in the home, and then again at our Safe Harbor site. Our parent education is evidence-based, and we offer free parenting assessments so that we're able to measure growth and track outcomes. We also offer life skills training, so that it is budgeting, helping them clean their homes if that's necessary, building organization skills, resume development, job interviewing preparation. So just recently we were able to help a Hispanic family with the mom with creating a resume and being able to acquire a job. So that was just recent. We also offer, again, behavior management. So it's one thing to teach somebody a curriculum, but it's another thing to be able to apply it. So pretty much behavior management is just helping them apply those skills and just provide feedback. We offer transportation. So transportation is to and from from the site to our offices, or if there's a medical appointment, or sometimes if they need to go to the grocery store and they don't have any transportation, we can provide that for them. We transport the whole family if necessary. What we hope to continue is our Brunswick Housing community events as well. So this past year, we did one event, and that was our vision board event, and it's just a really good opportunity to build interpersonal skills and also just kind of bring everybody together. And with all of these services, everybody receives community service hours. So there are other services that the residents can receive, and this includes therapy. Upon availability, we have financial assistance for them as well. They have access to our donations here at Safe Harbor, and sometimes we have sponsored events at Safe Harbor. So, for example, during Christmas, we have a lot of supporters who like to adopt a family and buy Christmas gifts for all kids and that kind of thing. And as far as recruitment goes, we're pretty much responsible for that. So what we do is we put out flyers. We try to put out new flyers every quarter. And then we also do social media posts, and then we try to recruit during their events if we can, just to let them know that we have the group, but if you need us to come into the home and you're not comfortable with the group, we can come to you. So again, just wanted to reiterate that on our first year, I think we had served about 30 residents, and then this past year we served about 49. So I'm hoping that for this coming year that we can serve at least 80 to 100, and that would be, I think that could be done definitely through more aggressive recruitment. So new things that I hope to do is, for every time that we have group every week, there'll be an extra person there with a table, most likely me, set up with a table, and I'll be able to talk to anybody who comes in and tell them what else we have to offer, just in case they don't know that we do individual services.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I don't know.
All right. Let Ms. Black off easy. All right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Black. All right. Now, next we have community and schools. We have anybody representing for community and schools? Nobody
No,
said.
she said she couldn't be, she's on vacation. She
Okay.
sent her report, and her ask is, 63,588. Last year, she was approved for 146,000. She found some other grants we received in her budget, to support both schools. This is the first time that, this has happened. We know that they want to send away some grants for both schools this year. She only asked for 31,000 for one school program, 30,000 for the others for the year. And she did, in her report, she should show you the name and the amounts of the grant that she, that will be support both schools this year.
All right, anybody got any questions for Mr. Jackson? Since he
do
know
we-
about the program?
Yeah, do we have a, okay, this is 47 students. Yeah.
That's the 47 case managed student, that's the one that we focus on, where they do provide services for the entire school. I just wanted her to report on the case management of the students that she's working with. And the reason she'll tell me the behavior, accident, attendance, she'll go into detail. Not put to that.
But these are the housing students.
Yes. Housing.
Section.
All right, thank you for that report. We'll move to item D. On this part of the agenda, I'm going to be doing assignments for the commissioners as well as myself. I first want to say that this is going to be based on our oversight and our fiduciary responsibility over the committee. So I am, let the record show that I'm assigning Commissioner Booker, Vice Chair, and Commissioner Hayes right now as the resident commissioner to be over personnel. And the personnel committee responsibilities will include overseeing hiring policies, salary structures, and benefits for the executive director, reviewing staff organizational structure and major personnel changes, addressing grievances or ethical issues while maintaining HR confidentiality, and that's very important that we remain with, make sure that we do and adhere to confidentiality. Ensuring equitable treatment of employees and strong leadership performance. So that will be the duties. I'll make sure that you all get a copy of these roles, and as well as it be recorded. And I am directing that the Personnel Committee meets with the Executive Director, Mr. Baisden, and Ms. Ora Reed, the HR Director, moving forward monthly, and we'll have a report. In this meeting, we will have to be careful on what we discuss, especially when it comes down to personnel issues, and we will save that for the executive session. The Financial Committee, I am placing this responsibility and oversight over Commissioner Clements and Commissioner Richards. And your role will be, and oversight will be, reviewing annual operating and capital budgets, monitoring monthly, quarterly financial reports, overseeing audit findings and corrective actions, reviewing major contracts and funding allocations, and ensuring compliance with HUD financial standards. That will be your role, and I'll make sure you all get these roles or have these roles in your personal. And again, you'll be meeting once a month with the Executive Director, Mr. Baisden, and right now with our, what is your role, Ms. Williams? Assistant Finance or?
Account coordinator,
Oh.
I think is my official title.
Okay, the account coordinator, Ms. Williams. And this again is our fiduciary responsibility and oversight to ensure that we are following the rules and the guidelines and really ensuring that this organization is running the way it's supposed to be ran as a housing authority, and make sure that we have full oversight and responsibility. Because at the end of the day, guess who they're going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at us. Everybody else can go on and do something else, but we will be held accountable. So I'm placing these responsibilities in your hand, hoping that we can come to a resolve and bring a better communication between our executive director and the leadership of this team, so that we can help better our residents. And my responsibility will be the resident council, and of course I will help with anything I need to in the other committees. But we will make sure we have monthly reports. And again, some things we may not be able to talk about in the open meeting, but we definitely will have to discuss it in our executive session so that we can continue to have order and structure. And our whole plan is to support our staff, as well as make sure that we are providing services, the right services for our residents. I want to echo that. We have a fiduciary responsibility to provide the correct, accurate, factual services for our residents. Everybody in agreement with this?
I agree, and I accept.
All right. I would now ask for a motion for executive session. Nays, I ask that we take just a brief break, use the restroom, and I'll be right back.